The starter mechanical keyboard for under $100. Let's see what it can offer and if it's something to dabble with to get into modifying your very own keyboard. The K66 is a 65% keyboard with a stacked acrylic case, 5-pin north-facing hot swap PCB, RGB for days, and plate mount stabilizers. Let's see how that all works together. The board comes with a variety of Gateron switches. Mine came with reds. Packaging includes a detachable Type-C cable, keycap and switch puller, and this brush thingy. This will provide you with the basic tools to modify the keyboard, which is good to see. In terms of aesthetics, I like the layout. I do wish the arrow cluster was separated, as I find it more visually pleasing and avoids the chance of accidental key presses with the arrow keys. 80% or 10 keyless is my favorite layout, and Warmier does have a TKL variant. However, this is definitely better than a 60% with no arrow keys. The stacked acrylic looks fine. I would prefer painted plastic, but I can understand with the heavy RGB theme that the translucent appearance helps that. I would just like to see some options that are solid colors. The switches are slightly exposed from the top of the case, which I don't like, but at this price point, the amount of RGB functionality, I just can't complain too much about it. In a perfect world, I would prefer to have the switches hidden. If you don't like RGB, it would be a hard sell for the case, as it seems to be its primary aesthetic draw. Yes, you can change it to a solid color or turn it off altogether, but some prefer a no-frills keyboard and would rather find a keyboard that doesn't delegate a budget towards the RGB, and this is not that board. The keycaps are standard quality, I guess. They're backlit and the legends are okay for what they are. That is completely fine at this price point. The acrylic surface provides a soft typing experience, which I like, and it is also a softer sound profile compared to the popularity of aluminum. The typing angle of this case is based off these rubber feet on the bottom, including a long rubber foot in the middle of the case to reduce flexing. And speaking of flex, it is easy to flex this case if enough force is applied and makes a nice crunching sound as a result. However, you shouldn't be putting that much force on your keyboard, even if you're raging. The stabilizers are really rattly, but at least you can take apart the board and modify it to fix some of it, or install your own plate-mounted stabilizers as a substitute. The housing alone wobbles a lot. This can be tightened up with tape or glue or other various methods. There is a light application of lubricant, but I rather it be non-existent since they already rattle quite a bit. If they wanted to take this board to the next level, they would just have support for screw-in stabilizers. Before we get into any modifications, let's just hear how this board sounds stock with Gateron red switches. Yeah, it's pretty rattly, right? Now, to take the board apart, there's 13 screws to take off from the bottom of the case. Underneath the PCB, there isn't a lot of room for noise dampening material, but you may be able to fit some polyfill if you want to mute the board more. The only modification I wanted to do was fix the stabilizers. I did so by clipping the legs, doing a band-aid mod, lubing the stabilizer housing with Krytox 205, lubing the wire with dielectric grease, and taping the stabilizer mounts. By taping the mounting points for the stabilizers, this should reduce the wobble of the housing within the plate. Then I put the board back together. I didn't lube the switches or change any of the keycaps. I wanted to demonstrate how just this basic modification to the stabilizers can improve the typing experience. I think this board represents an almost perfect beginner pre-built DIY RGB keyboard. I'm not a fan of stacked acrylic or exposed switches, but for the money, it gives you the entire working keyboard with a good amount of flexibility to modify your components. You can modify it if you want, but you don't have to. There are plenty of pre-built hot swap keyboards out on the market now, so this space is becoming more competitive. This level of lighting in RGB, along with the DIY capability for a pre-built keyboard, is probably what constitutes the price, in my opinion. If that's what you're looking for, I would give this a strong consideration. Check out the rest of the channel for more keyboard related content, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.